There we go.
All right.
God, this is gonna be a special episode. Presenting a very special episode of Mortified the Friendship Quest.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Okay, read us in, bestie.
Welcome to Mortified, the Friendship Quest, a podcast where two long-distance friends bounce media recommendations, all in hopes the other will like it. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Leyla.
And this week, we repeat our third annual self-indulgent episode with our Scorpio season spectacular.
Woo!
Before we answer that age-old question, what is a Tumblr sexy man? Remember, you can help us on Mortify the Legitimacy Quest by subscribing to us on YouTube, iTunes, or Spotify, signing up for our monthly newsletter through the link in our show notes, or following us on Twitter and Tumblr at MortifiedPod. Layla,
Aaron.
why are we doing this?
So, listen, you and I have been on Tumblr for a long time. And I think it's time we pay homage to the last good social media platform we have by loosely exploring not only its official sexymen TM, but also loosely boys the website finds hot, which are two different categories that we have combined into this one list.
Correct. I mean, listen, it is currently November 13th, 2022. Elon Musk is laying waste to Twitter as we speak, and Tumblr is rolling out check marks for $8 a pop that you can stack on each other, which is really, really good. Tumblr is clearly a superior social media site, so we do have to fucking pour one out for the greatest, and we are going to be talking about the lore of Tumblr, maybe hopefully introducing some new people to the kind of wild and crazy shenanigans we get up to here on where fandom lives. But yeah, it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, whatchamacallit, the Tumblr check marks are really funny, and I do have them. I do have two. By two, I mean I paid Tumblr $8.
I didn't know you had two. You're so cool.
Well, listen, it's because they promised me that they'll turn into crabs.
Excellent.
And I love crabs.
We do love crabs.
So Aaron, why don't we talk about this? How long have you been on Tumblr.com?
I started my Tumblr blog, Monster Factory Fanfic, in the summer of 2016 when my wife was studying abroad and I was working at a hospital and very lonely, and I was like, man, I love the McElroy's Monster Factory YouTube series. What if I started my writing career by making a fan fiction of the final Pam doing a fucking Dante's Inferno-esque descent through the Monster Factory catalog? That fanfic's not done, but it did kind of kickstart my career as a professional writer, which continues to this day, which is wild.
Surreptitiously also, you do share a birthday with the final Pam.
That's true. Shout outs. But yeah, that's how I got on Tumblr, but I suspect you were probably on it before 2016.
Do you want to take a swing?
I want to say 2013.
Ooh, 2008.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm vintage.
Yeah,
okay?
Holy shit.
I remember sitting, so I got on it in 2008. Speaking of things that kickstarted our careers, I think that my career in the arts was kickstarted by, at first, when I was a little kid, Pokemon fan art. I used to have those draw-alongs in the magazines. But then I think my passion for the arts really took off when I was too young and on the Adult Swim forums, role-playing my Inuyasha Mary Sue OC. And that brought me then to Gaia Online, and me and a friend were doing a Kingdom Hearts roleplay for a really long time, which spun way beyond Kingdom Hearts. It stopped being Kingdom Hearts at some point and just became its own thing. And then they brought me over to Tumblr, and I've been on Tumblr fairly consistently since 2008, with I think a year and a half gap somewhere in there. But yeah, and no, it's not been the same account the entire time. So no, you won't find my like old cringe aesthetic blogging, and you won't find my like old college era depression read mores. But by God, have I been on that website for a long fucking time.
That's very exciting to me. Not only that you've been on Tumblr for over a decade, but also that you got your start in forum role playing, which is actually also where I got my start in like writing, because the first actual like regular fiction writing I did was in a Naruto forum role play. So like, listen, we are of a type. We cannot change who we are. We can only embrace it, and that's what Tumblr's all about. And we are about to embrace the darkness here in a bit.
Oh God, absolutely. So again, we are gonna go down. We've picked 20 characters. Some of them are Tumblr sexy men. They are from the bracket. They're the big guns. Some of them are just boys Tumblr finds hot. And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go through and we're gonna tell you. And, you know, our opinions are always right, listeners. You've
Correct.
been here.
Yeah.
We've never been wrong once. We're going to tell you objectively, are you correct in finding them hot? And do we find them hot?
Correct.
So, Aaron, do you want to introduce the concept of what a Tumblr sexy man is?
From the authority on sexy men, which is, of course, sexypedia.fandom.com.
Sounds like a website Kakashi started.
It really does. So a Tumblr sexy man has a couple of characteristics, according to this website. Large amounts of fan works, large amounts of social media posts, usually with the captions along the lines of, quote, hear me out. Fans shipping themselves with the character. Oh, go ahead.
Or, oh, my ovaries.
No, I don't think so.
No,
I don't.
I do.
No, you're right, but I don't want to talk about that. Fans shipping themselves with the character, fans shipping the next available character with the sexy man. Humanizations is a big one. If the sexy man does something morally wrong or questionable, fans defending them or simply ignoring what they've did, this may cause controversy, creating a quote-unquote Vriska archetype. We will not talk about Homestuck today. You're welcome for that. Let's see.
Homestuck, another thing I read at the time.
Yeah, God, we were so young. Fans focusing on one aspect of the sexy man until it's their main personality trait, known as fan and flanderization. Fans creating their own characters based on the sexy man, and if your two characters fits two or more of these, they may be a sexy man. Now, this isn't included in the Sexypedia definitions, but it is also kind of implicit. A sexy man is usually well-dressed, they're usually skinny, and they are usually white.
Yes. So another source we want to talk about is Izzy Is on YouTube made a really great video about Tumblr sexy men, and also tried to define them. And it's usually a non-human character who is evil in some sort of way, evil or naughty. And usually some skinny white boy with a bow tie and a top hat and a cane. And there are some characters that are like borderline bait or designed to bait that kind of fandom response. But, you know, we can talk about the OGs. We could talk about where it goes. But anyway, we should get going on our list because we do have 20 fucking characters to talk about.
Number 1. I'm going to open up the link to get his first name. Arataka Regan, our runner-up to the famous Twitter poll that decided the number 1 Tumblr sexy man. You know, Leyla, for people who like anime, I don't think either of us have seen Mob Psycho, have we?
We have not seen Mob Psycho, but I feel like I've seen enough about Mob Psycho that I can at least glean the vibe of Mr. Reagan, which is that he is a deadbeat dad that's trying his best.
Some of his aliases include Original Baby Girl and Twink/Dilf Supreme. So thanks Sexypedia for that. Great. Awesome.
Yeah. He also sweats a lot, which I think is very important.
Okay. What is attractive about Regan?
Well, I've talked about this before, but he is a dad. And that's hot to me lately, because I'm an old bitch.
Lately?
Shut up.
All right. Sure, buddy. Yeah, I mean, like, he dresses well. He's a skinny white man. But, like, yeah, I actually don't know a lot about Mob Psycho. It seems like he's kind of a... I really wish I could speak to him, but, like, apparently he does do something for people. I mean, Leyla, can you speak to that at all?
Mm-hmm. No, I want to watch you struggle some more.
Sexypedia says that he is morally gray, while Regan preaches about kindness and not hurting other people. Apparently, conning people is still okay. He genuinely believes in helping people, but lies to them. What exactly he is helping them with? He lies to Mob throughout most of the series. He's like if Jimmy McGill got better instead of worse. I don't know what that means. I don't know. I mean, like, to me, he is just a sweaty white kid, and I'm happy for all the people who like him. I've heard Mob Psycho is a great anime, but, like, oh God, there were a lot of shots where he is animated really sexily, like you can just tell the animators were horny. The Sexopedia website is a treasure, I think.
I think it is treasure. Okay, so I'll step in.
Thank you, please.
So here's the thing. I think Reagan was cheated in terms of the Tumblr sexy man poll, because yes, he is. He's let's say light skinned. Obviously, he's Japanese, his anime character. But you know, he's light skinned. He wears a suit and a bow tie, and he's morally questionable. And he's a parent to a young boy, a surrogate parent to a young boy. And listen, the thing about these characters is that people will just they'll think that all their scamming and shit is cute. They'll be like, oh, he's scamming, but, like, oh my God, that's just, like, so Reagan. And here's the thing.
Wait, hold on. Is his name Reagan or Regan? Because I've heard it pronounced Reagan at least once by another YouTuber, and that has implications.
We're gonna call him Regan because he doesn't need to share a name with the devil.
Thank you.
So here's the thing. I think he was robbed. I think that this sweaty, pathetic, wet hunk of a father deserved better. And I am very excited to dive into Mob Psycho 100 personally, because I think I will also fall into the trap of thinking he's very sexy. But yes, so... Listen, is this a promising start for this episode, considering neither of us have seen the show and we're just going off of vibes? No, but here's the thing. We're here to judge your tastes. And objectively, I would like to put on the stamp of hot.
Okay. I can see why people would find him hot. Having also just turned 28, I get it. I'm in the prime of my life as a father with no children. So I get it.
Hey, call out post. Call out post
okay,
for Aaron.
All right.
Yeah, the other day I was complaining about how my tummy hurt and how I am aging and falling apart like Rasputin and Anastasia. And this asshole says, yeah, okay, so I said, body's been up to some shit, TBQH, and he goes, the perks of being 29, and I said, time will come for you too, and he says, joke's on you, I'll be 27 forever. I'd like to point out this was the day before his birthday. You're an asshole.
I've made a terrible mistake.
So, our next contender is Sans Undertale.
I mean, what? Listen, I get it. Actually, no, I don't get it. I do not get it. No, I don't get it. But, like, I'm very happy. Sans is one of my all-time favorite Tumblr sexy men.
Listen, I'm all for a fuckable short king, but, like, he's too round.
I mean,
His character design is too, like, friendly looking. It's too round. There's nothing, like... I don't know, like, even when he goes a little evil goblin mode, there's never a part of me that's like, oh, daddy, like, no, like, he's just little.
Listen, okay. We actually did an episode on Undertale last year that drove me up a fucking wall, and we did talk about it for 80 minutes, which, like, was wild because, like, neither of us liked Undertale that much. Like, we got why it was an important game, but also we were like, not really for us. I think Sans is one of the best Tumblr sexy men because it's very funny to me that people are just like, oh, this skeleton that tells puns, I want to have babies with that. Aliases on sexopedia.com include the fingers in his ass guy. So that's good. He did win the Twitter poll. So he is, canonically the Tumblr sexy man of all time.
Rigged, fake news, stolen election. I don't fucking get it. Like,
all right, Donald Trump. Why don't you like Sans Undertale?
It's not that I don't like him. He was one of the better characters. Like I as somebody who didn't enjoy Undertale, I liked Sans all right. He was fine. Like he was fun to be around. But in terms of like fuckable characters, one, he breaks all the sexy man conventions. Like he's not tall, he's not skinny, nobody woobifies him, nobody like gives him like nobody humanizes him, right? It's like this skeleton in a hoodie. But like I don't know. He reads like a punk to me, but not like a hot punk, just like a little punk. I want to hoist him by his hood and put him in a dumpster.
Here's the thing. I used to be Catholic. And
famously, yeah.
Apparently, I think it was last year, somebody played the Sans boss fight music before Pope Francis I, Megalovania, and like Megalovania is a song that you should play for the Pope. I get it, right? He's like a very friendly and nice guy, and kind of throughout the entire course of Undertale, like is either guiding you in the right direction or otherwise being like, hey, if you keep killing people, you're gonna have a bad time. And famously, the hardest boss fight in the game because of his final boss form. And because of that, I kind of gotta give it up, right? The guy has great music. Toby Fox is a great musical. What do you call somebody who writes music? A composer?
A composer?
I don't think so. Anyway, I just really like Sans, and I really like the fact that he breaks all the tropes of like must be wearing a bow tie, must be a skinny white man. I just think it's very good that he's that kind of person.
But in our objective, mortified opinion, do you think he's hot or not?
No, but also I'm a cishet. What do you want from me?
I want you to tap in to your beautiful, free-thinking security in your cishet masculinity and tell me if you think that little skeleton is hot or not.
Listen, what makes someone sexy but outside of their body? Because Sans, unfortunately, has no skin. And that is confidence, right? It is knowing what you want. It is being secure in who you are and being able to tell other people what you want. And Sans knows what he wants. He wants puns. He wants safety for his world. And he wants this dick. And I have to respect that.
Wow. Compelling case.
Yeah. It should be clear, listeners, I've had the equivalent of 5 shots at this point. I don't get drunk very often, so sorry about all the burps.
Okay, fine, I guess. I guess.
Yeah.
But you know what? Actually, fuck you, because I found other skeletons very sexy.
Jack Skellington, perhaps?
No, God, no. Okay, so I hate Jack Skellington, and not for reasons you would even believe or imagine. So my mom, one Halloween, got one of those life-size Jack Skellingtons, and every single fucking time, without exception, that you walk past him, he starts singing his stupid little song. Me and my brother want to burn him. We hate that Jack Skellington. And so because of real life-size Halloween decorations singing Jack Skellington that my mom probably picked up at a Home Depot on a whim, I fucking hate this man.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. Listen, I get it. I remember I shopped at Hot Topic in the late 2000s. I'm very familiar with The Nightmare Before Christmas, mostly because of Kingdom Hearts 2. And he was in Kingdom Hearts 1 as well. But
1, yeah.
But I don't like Jack Skellington that much. I think Nightmare Before Christmas is fine. Not really for me. But he does fit the he is according to sexypedia.fandom.com, he is a quote pale twink, and he is a suit guy. But yeah, I don't get it. He's kind of a dumbass.
He's kind of a dumbass, and not in the cute himbo way.
Correct.
He's a dumbass in the putting his own interests before everyone else's safety and like just general well-being way. Sally finds him hot, but I think she could do better.
She could.
Yeah, I don't get it. I really don't. He looks like a stiff breeze could knock him over and send his little skeleton head rolling. So I think I think we're secure in saying in the official Mortified canon, Jack Skellington, not hot.
I agree. Now, you know who is hot?
No, I don't.
Let's talk about the OG, the original, the one and only Onceler.
Aaron, have you ever seen the movie The Lorax?
No.
Okay, you have. I have.
Nope. Okay, you have, really?
I've seen. Yeah, it was
Under
like on
what
TV.
Conditions? Who made you watch The Lorax?
It was like back when I was living with my mom, and like we had satellite TV, and it was just on, and there was nothing else to watch.
Sure.
And I just, I liked animated movies now, and I still do. And I was like, okay, I'll watch The Lorax. I thought it was fine. I didn't find it particularly memorable, and I certainly didn't think Twink Monopoly was sexy.
Here's the thing about the Onceler. So Sarah Zed did a 40-minute video about the history of the Onceler and Tumblr sexymen and like why the Onceler fandom became the way that it was. And I do find I'm a history nerd. I like understanding the ways in which events in the past shape events in the future and why people acted the way they did in the past. And I think that the history of the Onceler is fascinating. And I just really, really find it tickles me in a weird way that the Onceler is just the archetypical Tumblr sexy man, because like he's just a guy.
He's just a guy. He's like a little evil, but like in a capitalist way, which makes it weirder still.
You're right. I mean, he is just like the Monopoly man, but like in his 20s.
Yeah, it's bonkers. And like, I don't know. Like I'm like really stretching the imagination right now. Like, I guess, if we really think about it, like, yeah, he sings, he's kind of evil, he wears his little top hat, and he plays his guitar. And I guess, like, yeah, on any other character, I guess I could maybe see how that could be attractive, sort of. But the fucking Onceler? Like...
That's why it's so good, right? It's because it's so fucking bonkers. It's a Dr. Seuss book!
But we're not even talking about whether it's good. Aaron, when you look at Twink Monopoly, when you look at that little fucking green bean in a top hat, do you find it sexy?
Not at all! He looks like a kid from my high school that would want to cheat off my math homework, but like...
He looks like he has a fucking internship on Wall Street after the movie's done shooting.
Yeah, no, 100%. But like, I think it's so funny that this is the guy. Like, this is Oncest, right? Like, shipping the Onceler with himself because there's no other characters unless you want him to fuck the Lorax, which is really, really good. And whoever out there is shipping the Onceler with the Lorax is braver than any United States Marine. So
no, that's 100% correct.
That's really good.
Yeah, listen, I appreciate the fervor of the Onceler fandom, but I will say I am at odds with you. I disagree. I don't understand. I'm happy for you. I think you guys should continue making wild, sub-Oncelers that fuck each other. I think that's very good. But, like, I'm happy being a passive observer and fully not understanding any of it at all whatsoever. So I would like to say the Onceler not hot.
We'll have to agree to disagree. Let's
talk. No, okay, in our opinion, I'm not talking about whether or not you find it funny that other people think he's hot. When you look at that twink, do you go, yeah, I get it?
Listen. 2012 was a difficult time for the United States of America. Macklemore was ascendant.
I hate you.
Listen, what else was happening in 2012? I don't remember. I was depressed and a senior in high school. But like, I see why people think he's attractive, because young teenagers are horny and they love skinny white men.
But
and like,
do you find him attractive?
No, in no way.
Okay, then not hot. Moving on.
Okay, sure, whatever.
Bill fucking Cipher, the triangle himself.
Okay, all right. You're gonna get at me for giving the Onceler fuckers, their flowers, but like, what is this man's a pyramid?
I did not get at you for giving the Onceler their flowers. I got at you for capitulating to the Onceler fandom and not standing up for yourself and the fact that you don't think the Onceler is sexy.
I don't think any of these people are sexy. I'm straight.
You can think people are sexy on like you would look at a piece of art and appreciate it.
Okay, that's fair. There's a couple of people who is like, okay, I understand the appeal, right? I don't understand.
That's what
fair.
we're talking about. Do you understand the appeal? Do you understand the appeal of the triangle?
No, he's a pyramid with a bow tie.
Here's the thing. I get it.
God damn you. I hate you so much.
I get it. But here's the thing. I don't get, when I look at, like, Bill Cipher, the, like, humanization of Bill Cipher, I immediately stop getting it.
Okay.
But when I look at that, like, scamp triangle when he's doing his little evil misdeeds, I'm like, listen, I'm not into it. Like, it's not for me, but I respect it.
Okay, that's what I feel about the Onceler, right? Like, again, not for me, but I see how other people could get it.
Okay, so let's do some rule setting. Are we when we say hot or not hot, are we talking about our own objective opinions, or is it like we get it?
I think it's we get it, right? Because like I feel like very few, I don't think, maybe you will find a couple of these people on the list like objectively attractive, but like I find very few of them because I don't think we don't have any women on this list.
No, this is specifically for the boys, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So we can go back and we can say Onceler hot, Bill Cipher also, I would be willing to stamp him hot because I get it.
Okay. Can you explain why you get it?
So again, it's not that he's morally gray, he has no morals. Bill Cipher is like a completely selfish little triangle, and he's just out there to fuck with these little kids and these old men. And I think that's great of him. He has unhinged demonic powers, which is also cool, and he's willing to use them to his own nefarious ends. Why do people think that's sexy? Because in a fantasy where you're fucking Bill Cipher, he's making exceptions for you. The demonic powers and destruction are for you. And it's not that you can fix him. It's that you can go for the ride.
Yeah, okay. That's a fine fantasy. Some people would love to fuck a sociopath, and that makes sense.
Yeah, and that's what fiction's for, is exploring those tendencies.
He is a triangle, he is a 2D pyramid.
But he does get humanizations, in which he is a skinny white boy at the top.
Okay. The Sexypedia does not have any humanization fan art of him. Let me see if I can find...
Wow. Not a very exhaustive resource.
Honestly, a little bit disappointed.
Literally Google human Bill Cipher, and then there's a drawing by Alex Hirsch that is super ugly because he got mad about this.
Yes, I did hear about that on a social media, on a YouTube video. Okay, I get it. I get why... But yeah, like, again, these are all just, like, anime boys, right?
Yeah, skinny white boys. So Bill Cipher, hot or not hot?
Are we counting the humanizations as part of the canon, or part of the appeal?
Well, if we're giving the fandom its flowers, I think we have to, because that's a core component of the love for Mr.
That's
Cipher.
fair. Listen, you can make anything fuckable. Yeah, sure.
Okay, Bill Cipher, hot. Next up, have you ever played Slenderman: The 8 Pages?
No. Famously, we are not people who like scary games.
I got 6 pages once.
Okay. Wait, you've played this game?
I'm pretty good at Slenderman, and I'm pretty good at FNAF.
Okay. When you were running away from this guy who is literally just a white man in a suit, did you go, oh, maybe he could take me out to dinner?
No, I mostly remember jumping and screaming.
Okay, fair enough.
Where do you think you and Slenderman would go on a date? Like, if Slendy's taking you to dinner, what's the vibe?
He gives me crypto bro vibes.
He does, doesn't he? He is a crypto bro. What are we thinking? Steakhouse? Or like gastropub?
A gastropub makes more sense because the thing about crypto bros is they don't actually have money, so they could not afford to buy you steak. But like a gastropub, they could like pretend to be very sophisticated in their taste.
I think you're right. Yeah, I don't understand how you could impose a personality onto Slendy. Like, I've watched the Slenderman history videos, so, like, I know he's supposed to have, like, proxies, and they live in a mansion and whatever. Is this, like, it's almost like a weird, evil version of, like, what people find sexy about Batman when he's, like, a dad to all his little boys.
Huh.
I don't know if I get it.
Listen, he doesn't have a face.
No, he does not famously.
I feel like the face is a very important part about finding someone attractive.
Yeah. I don't get a lot of these creepypasta lovers. People who find, like, Jeff the Killer sexy.
Yeah, we didn't even include him on this list because, like, absolutely the fuck not.
Yeah, so...
I'm happy to give this a thumbs down.
Thumbs down. Not hot. Slendy, not hot. I think our next contender, we venture away from the animated and the polygonal into the flesh world. We're gonna talk about Mr. Loki from Marvel. Aaron, I know you've actually seen more Marvel shit than I have. I think, right?
Yeah, I watched a lot of the Loki like mini series, but I mean, also like I'm like I don't want to say a Marvel fan. I guess I was kind of.
You've heard it here first. Aaron's a Marvel stan. He loves Marvel so much.
It's fine. I think it's fine. I wish they weren't as prevalent as they are. I get it. I mean, who's the guy who plays Loki?
What's his face? That guy.
I'm looking at. Yeah, that guy.
That guy.
We all know who I'm talking about. God.
Yeah, the
Loki
guy
actor.
Not Benedict Cumberbatch, but is sexy to people for the same
Tom
reason.
Hiddleston, Jesus.
Tom Hiddleston. I like Mr. Hiddleston.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that there's that much to say about Loki besides that.
No, but we do have to give him his flowers because he has been an enduring part of people finding him hot.
He's stuck around since at least 2020, from 2012 to 2021. So yeah. You gotta.
I think he's pre-Sexy Man era. Honestly, like,
right? Because the Avengers movie comes out in 2012, and like around the same time as Lorax does, and like that's when the engine starts to turn in.
Yeah, exactly. So he's pre-Sexy Man era, but like he's pre-Sexy Man era in that way where like Tumblr was obsessed with British men for a long time. Arguably, sometimes some of them still are, but like, you know, your Tom Hiddlestons, your Benedict Cumberbatch,
right. Your Doctor Who's.
Your Doctors Who, please use the correct.
Sorry, no, you're correct. Doctors Who.
Yeah. So, you know, also shout out honorable mention to David Tennant, Matt Smith, Doctors Who, D10, love of my life. So glad he's thriving.
Season 4 is the best, yeah.
I'm happy to give Loki his flowers. I do believe he is hot. Yeah, I think that's a nice break for us before we return to our passions.
Yes. Notoriously last year we talked about Kingdom Hearts 3, an episode that is lost to time because Leyla is now professionally in the games industry and we couldn't have our takes about Kingdom Hearts. But we'll do them here. We'll do our takes about Axel Kingdom Hearts right now.
Yeah. And to be clear to any game dev people who are listening, the takes were good. I like Kingdom Hearts. We famously love Kingdom Hearts.
We like Kingdom Hearts, like, straight up.
I have a tattoo and everything.
So the thing about Axel is that this is definitely, I get it. Like, he's a good-looking, spiky-headed guy. The Sexypedia website does list his weight as being 126 pounds for a man who is 6'2", which is concerning.
Yeah, so I came up with a theory that gravity is just less.
It's gotta be, right?
Right, because otherwise we would have to confront the fact that a lot of people who maybe make up weights for fictional characters are under the misogynistic impression that people weigh less than they do.
Yeah,
Because
maybe they're fucking bonkers. They don't know anything about bone density. But
yeah,
like,
maybe they're under the impression that people should weigh less because women should weigh less. And when are you concerned with a person's weight if it's not a woman or a pro wrestler? Usually it's a
yeah,
woman.
maybe eat shit, dude. But like,
Yeah. So don't like that as an artifact of
yeah, weird to make up a
misogyny.
fictional person's weight in the first place. But whatever. Axel is a good character. I like Axel a lot. He's sad and he is trying to get back to Roxas constantly.
Yeah.
And
Let's talk about the romance, the romantic like aura of Axel Kingdom Hearts. Like you said, always trying to get back to Roxas. So that's commitment and dedication. He tragic past, check. Goth clothes, check. He
weird relationship with ex-boyfriend.
weird relationships with some presumable exes. And then, there's that inch of desperation to him that lumps him into the category of like, I could fix him.
Yeah, he's definitely like he has enough good intent where it's like, oh, okay, I can see the good in him.
Yeah. I find Axel personally very hot. I think that they sexed him up in 3 for me. They did that for me, for young me, and you know what? I respect it. I think he looks great with his beautiful eyelashes and his cool hair. I listen. I have to give him a hot, and I know you'll agree. But if you didn't, I would have fought you to death about it.
No, of course, I get it. I mean, listen, literally, what is his stupid Organization 13 name? It's like the Dancer of Flames or some shit.
Oh, some shit like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's really dumb, but like, listen, he's the fireman. Of course he's hot.
Yeah, he's super hot. We're gonna dip back into Marvel territory for a minute. Another hot boy, not a sexy man, but a hot boy.
But similar to Axel in that he is constantly trying to get back to his boyfriend, Captain America. Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier. I try not to talk about this a lot, but like I do think my favorite movie is Captain America Civil War. And a lot of that is because I think the relationship between Bucky Barnes and Captain America and Iron Man, like their weird love triangle, not necessarily love triangle, but like their narrative triangle is very interesting, right? Where Bucky Barnes is a person who has constantly been manipulated by various governments throughout his life and is just trying to do good, but always is ending up being a weapon for totalitarianism. Whereas like Captain America is like, no, this is the American dream and this is what we are, intentionally trying to do to fight against evil, the best of America, versus, Iron Man's like technological superiority and various, very much like an Elon Musk type of like the future is all technology and that will save us, blah, 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 blah. I like Bucky Barnes. I think that his, especially the ways in which like he grew up with Captain America, he was lost to Captain America. He ends up fighting Captain America, but Captain America eventually, by refusing to kill him and allowing, showing him vulnerability and being like, you know what, Bucky, I love you so much that I'll let you kill me. Like that's good shit. That's just boys being boys.
That's just fellas being fellas.
Fellas, have you ever, told your best friend that I'm with you till the end of the line in a no homo way?
Yeah, I certainly have. And I mean, okay, Bucky Barnes falls into that archetype for me. Sad, wet, pathetic, singularly determined, committed. Like, obviously this man is hot.
Yeah, I mean, Sebastian Stan is also a very good-looking man with long hair, so I get
100%, yeah.
Now, back into the Tumblr sexy man cesspit.
Let's talk about Raymond Animal Crossing.
God, do you remember March 2020?
God. Okay, have you ever... First of all, I would rather not. And second of all, do you know about Raymond in boxes?
I do know about Raymond in boxes, yes.
Yeah, so incredible copy pasta, for those of you who don't know, about somebody who got really upset at someone else for having Raymond on their island, And since they were their quote unquote comfort character, they borderline harassed the person who had him to put him in boxes for pickup. By this person who said that, OP wasn't like treating him right. Objectively, very, very funny copy pasta. Highly encourage you to seek it out. Raymond Animal Crossing has heterochromia. He's got one eye different than the other. He's got a little tuft of hair. He's got glasses. He's besuited, as Tumblr sexy men are wont to be. Now here's what I find interesting. Aaron, do you play Animal Crossing?
I played a lot in the first couple months of 2020, but I fell off, as the months went on.
So, but then, so that villagers have a set personality type, and generally speaking, they stick pretty closely to that personality type. Like, they're kind of individualized, but you know what you're getting.
Correct.
So that is where I get confused about the projecting onto Raymond a personality, because as far as I know, he just wants to be a star, and I support him in his endeavors.
Yeah, see, according to the Sexypedia fandom page, people, despite the fact that he has a smug personality and wants to be very popular on the internet, a mass amount of people put him in a maid's dress.
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
So, that's something.
I could see that. Right. Well, I'm trying. Okay, so here's the thing. Obviously, not for us, right? Not our thing.
No.
But do we respect it?
No. Listen,
Yeah.
I respect furries. I don't respect whatever this is.
Patrons of the arts, famously. Yeah, I think I don't respect Raymond for the same reason I don't respect the Onceler. Too round, too much work on my behalf to make it work.
It's a lot. He is very demanding. He is a high-maintenance Animal Crossing character.
Who I love. He's on my island. Love him to death. Would do anything for him. Would not want to see him in a maid's dress. That's not...
No. Not particularly.
Next up...
Would you want to see Megamind in a maid's dress?
Frankly, no. I don't really get the maid dress thing.
It's weird. It's a weird fetish.
I don't think it's... Listen, I'll kink shame some shit, but I don't think I'm gonna kink shame maid's dresses. Like, I get it if that's your thing, but like, it's not for me at all.
I mean, I get it too, but it is weird. It is weird to be like, be my servant.
I don't think that's what it's about.
Yeah. I don't know. Weird.
I don't know. Well, yeah. So, I think I don't know if I want to see Megamind in a maid's dress, but like, listen, I get it.
Megamind is one of the, like, for the record, we watched Megamind for this podcast, so like we kind of understand his whole appeal, and like, I think Megamind, I think he has some very iconic lines, including, what's the difference between a villain and a villain presentation, and right. The fact that Megamind gets that makes me understand and very much appreciate his appeal. Like, again, do I think he's hot? No. But I do think he is in my top 3 Tumblr sexy men.
Megamind falls into kind of the Loki category of like chaotic little goblin who, values presentation. But he also kind of falls in with every other kind of sad, pathetic simp, where he really is just a sad, pathetic simp. And like, whether or not you think he's a sad, pathetic simp for that newscaster lady, or that he's a sad, pathetic simp for the other the other super hero that he's always fighting, and then almost the Elvis man, Metro Man. That's a taste thing. That's up to you. I get it. I think for me, I was a little bit too old when Megamind came out, or maybe too young, who's to say. So like, not for me, but he's pathetic. Pathetic is in right now. Pathetic is hot.
We love our Blorbos to be wet, we love them to be bleeding, and we love them to be sad.
Yeah, so, Mega Man hot or not, I say hot.
I agree. I don't get it, but like,
or Megamind,
I do think he is hot. Right.
He is hot. Next up, Doc Ock from Spider-Man.
Author, gosh, I can't pull her name, but like there was one person who wrote a review of Spider-Man 2 and talking about how like lascivious the person who played Dr. Octopus in Spider-Man 2 was, and like how his tits were out constantly. And like I want that for people. I want people to be like, oh, this is an older man who is titties out constantly. And I am very happy for those people.
Yeah, so I'll tell you, when I saw Spider-Man 2 in theaters at the time that it came out, when I was a youth, obviously, you know, I didn't really find anybody attractive on that screen. Just none of them were kind of for me. Now that I'm like almost, you know, I'm 30-esque, in the vicinity of 30. Listen, tits out. I find that man very hot. Titties out, evil, a little, like, you know, he's got his little quips. He's always quipping at Peter Parker. He's got those, like, cool robot tentacles. He's very smart. I feel like he's very dedicated to a cause. I find that very hot. You know, a lot of these have been like, yeah, I respect it. I get it. And, you know, no, Doc Ock, call me.
Alfred Molina is the actor, by the way, if you should all.
Alfred Molina. I feel like Alfred Molina from 2003. Call me. Unfortunately, I think there's too much of an age gap between the two of us for our romance to thrive. But listen, if you look like Alfred Molina in 2003, give me a ring.
Did you ever listen to Welcome to Night Vale?
I did. I listened to it for quite a while. I forget when I fell off. Have you?
Yeah, again, it's probably similar. I listened for about like 2 or 3 years, and then like the story kind of went off the rails, and I was like, oh, this isn't for me anymore. But no, I liked it. I thought Cecil Palmer was a great character.
Yeah, so Cecil Palmer, again, Hotboy, kind of a chaotic host of, you know, Welcome to Night Vale. Here's the thing. I understand it and I respect it. But my whole thing with these like Tumblr hotboys and then, you know, the next tier up, the Tumblr sexymen, is that they have an element of chaos to them that is reminiscent of like, you know, everybody wants a bad boy. Like this is just a new iteration of that, right? This is just a new iteration of like, oh my God, like he's so cool and he's so like, you know, anti-authoritarian and he plays by his own rules, and like it's that reflex but weird. And Cecil Palmer fits into that because he's, again, just kind of a little freak. He's a little goblin man, and he plays by his own rules, and you know, he could look like whatever you want him to look like. Unfortunately, everybody always thinks he's like a white anime boy, as per usual. Personally, Cecil Palmer, not for me. I do get it. I always found his little boyfriend appealing. The nice doctor.
Carlos.
Carlos is for me.
Yeah, I get Carlos's appeal. Cecil, again, as just like kind of the goofy, dumb narrator of Night Vale, you know, the radio host. Like, I don't know. I don't want to fuck Ira Glass. I don't understand why people want to fuck Cecil Palmer.
Now, okay, don't bring Ira Glass into this because I don't know if you know this about me. I find Steve Kornacki very sexy. And I think something about those khakis.
Okay. Moving on.
The Phantom of the Opera is here.
Okay, I mean, like, this was a million people of our generation's sexual awakening. So, like, not a Tumblr sexy man, but, like, a proto-Tumblr sexy man.
Proto-Tumblr sexy man, and again, I would like to say hot boy. People do think Eric Phantom is hot.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, that's the appeal, right? Again, the appeal of Eric the Phantom is the same appeal as, like, every Tumblr sexy man. Like, a dark side, but, like, kind of vulnerable, you know, tragic backstory, wears a nice suit, white, like, Gerard Butler, I guess. I don't know if people, like, think Gerard Butler's hot.
I don't think people think Gerard Phantom is hot. It's usually a Broadway Phantom.
That's fair. No offense, Mr. Butler.
No offense, Mr. Butler. But yeah, and again, it's that element of like him being obsessed with you know, Christine, but you know, where people are coming from with this is like obsessed potentially with you, right? And
right.
people want that. They want that kind of like all-consuming romance in these like fictional situations. I will say I do find the Phantom very sexy. But that's all. I mean, like famously, I think you and I don't like Raoul.
I mean, Raoul sucks, like, objectively. In Phantom, in L&D, he sucks ass. So, like,
Oh yeah.
you know, just because the Phantom is, like, a weird, creepy groomer doesn't mean that he's not hot.
Yeah, Love Never Dies, which I was about to call, by the way, Love's Not Dead, and I do believe
Love's not dead, it's truly alive, it's living on the inside. Listen to my other podcast at The Bible Boys if you want an explanation of that joke.
yeah, it's fucking God's Not Dead metaverse. But Love Never Dies. Yeah, is a very flattering picture of the Phantom, and I get very horny. I fucking get it.
I get it too, unfortunately.
I fucking get it.
Listen, people love bad boys, I don't know what to tell you.
Now, okay, that was my time machine. I'm transporting myself back to when I was a wee teen, because that is when I saw the movie Rise of the Guardians in theaters.
Okay.
I did think Jack Frost was hot.
He has white hair.
White hair, skinny.
He is extraordinarily skinny. I can see his tibias.
He's also, he likes children. That's very important. That means he's nice. It's a real,
that's a good
real
point.
save the cat.
Yeah. Apparently, according to Sexypedia, he's a loner, the classic rebel without a cause, sarcastic and mischievous. I get it. Similar to the Wensler, like, I guess if you were a young person at the time, you'd be like, oh, okay, this does it for me.
So a little bit of Tumblr history here. So Jack Frost, I would not call him a Tumblr sexy man. I think he is a hot boy. And he predates the sexy man era, as does Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon. But they were part of the other non-super Hulock combo move, Rise of the Brave Tangled Dragons.
Oh my lord.
Which was a crossover between Rise of the Guardians, Brave, Tangled, and How to Train Your Dragon.
I can't.
Yeah.
I'm not strong enough.
And so I think, first of all, I like Rise of the Guardians a lot. I think it's a really nice children's movie if you're looking for a Christmas flick. It's really good. Beautiful soundtrack by Alexander Desplat. Give it a watch. I think if it was a couple years later, people would find the villain sexier than they find Jack Frost. I think this was before this movie came out before its time in terms of like internet archaeology, because the villain is skinny, tall, dark with nefarious powers. Really fits into that kind of like what people find hot about like the Wensler and all the other many thin evil people that they find hot.
Sure.
However, they're all wrong. The hottest one in that movie is Santa Claus. So.
Okay.
I'm right.
Sure.
I'm right.
I'll have to take your word for it.
Yep. So.
God, moving on.
I've also seen people ship Jack Frost and the Tooth Fairy from that movie, which.
They should not do that.
Okay.
I don't think they should ship Jack Frost with anyone. He looks like he's 14.
He is. It's when he died.
Yeah, that's not great.
Tooth Fairy, yeah, whatever. So anyway, moving on.
Another person you should not ship with anyone, Kylo Ren.
Listen, I think Adam Driver's like a fine-looking man. I really do.
Listen, Adam Driver's attractive. I get it. I get why people would find Adam Driver attractive.
Yes.
Kylo Ren, however...
He's a little bitch boy.
He's a little fashy. He's a little whiny. He's a little bit obsessed with bloodlines in a way that I don't feel good about.
He killed his dad.
He a little bit killed his dad. I get it.
Killed Harrison Ford, who could have milked that franchise for a couple more bags.
But, famously hated the franchise.
So Kylo Ren, I get it because he's goth. I get it because he has daddy issues. People really like that. But not daddy issues towards his father, Harrison Ford, but daddy issues towards his father, Darth Vader, adopted father, Darth Vader. But, like, listen, I get, like, the elements are there But for all the reasons that you listed, it just doesn't click for me. The dedication to a cause, the emo kind of weepy, wet aura, it's all there, but he's too much of a bootlicker. It doesn't work.
Yeah. Not for me.
Not for me.
Also not for me for similar reasons.
Yeah, so again, Hotboy. This is someone a lot of people simp for. And I think we can have a pretty good discussion of why Sasuke Uchiha is like, why people are wrong.
People are wrong if they like Sasuke Uchiha. Don't get me wrong. He sucks.
He sucks. He's a deadbeat dad in canon now. Spoilers for Boruto. His daughter is perfect and has done nothing wrong ever in her life. But he famously neglects his wife and his daughter. But even before that, even in the Naruto canon, he's just a whiny little man who just does things on impulse without thinking about them and causes everyone about 500 episodes worth of grief.
Yeah, I mean, Sasuke sucks ass. I understand why people might think he's attractive, but he is... This is the thing we talk about on maybe literally every episode of this show, but he is in love with Naruto Uzumaki, and it's just like, he's taken, folks.
He's very taken. They have matching necklaces and everything.
Yeah, like, gosh.
But he's also, again, impulsive and causes everyone grief, and like, you should like Itachi, because Itachi said ACAB.
Yes, Itachi does say ACAB extremely hard.
There are so many very eligible, very sad people on that show that are very hot. I think Iruka's very hot. Kakashi's hot. Famously, shout out to my current favorite podcast, Naruto Reviewto. I can't remember if it was Kim or Jesse that said it, but I would suck the sadness right out of that dick. That lives rent free in my head. That I quote it damn near constantly. There's a lot of really hot characters. I haven't even gotten into the women. A lot of hot characters in that show. And Sasuke, really? Like, not hot.
You could do better than Sasuke.
You could all, hey, listeners, you could all do better than Sasuke. Do Itachi.
Love yourself. Fuck the older brother.
Aaron, you have siblings, but they're older. Like, as in, they're, about our age. Thereabouts. So have you ever seen Lazy Town?
No. The only Lazy Town content I've ever seen is the mashup between Lazy Town and Lil Jon's song. Have you ever seen that?
No, I'm
that
fascinated.
Mashup, I'll find it and I'll put it in the show notes. But
great.
That's the only interaction. I don't think it's necessarily appropriate, but it is very funny. But no, I don't know much about Robbie Rotten.
Robbie Rotten is, the villain of the children's show Lazy Town, a show I have seen many, many episodes of because my brother is much younger than me. Of all the children's programming he used to watch when it was age appropriate, Lazy Town, one of the better ones. I really liked Lazy Town. I like that little girl in her pink wig. It's a fun show. Now, is Robbie Rotten hot? He is skinny and tall. He does wear a suit, so he fits the Tumblr sexy man kind of mold. He's also evil. But, like, I don't know. I don't think I get this one.
I mean, I don't want to speak to it as a show that I haven't seen, but, it's fucking weird to be horny over anybody in a kid's show, I feel like.
Yeah, I don't listen.
And, like, this is, like, kids media, like, younger than 10 years old. Like, I don't think so, y'all.
It's the same thing that makes me uncomfortable about, like, the My Little Pony fandom, which is,
yes.
like, it's fine if you enjoy kids media. I watch a lot of kids media because I went to animation school. So, like, it's in my habit to, like, watch it and as background noise, but, I don't take it terribly seriously. But, if you're looking at Robbie Rotten and you go, that's fuckable, I do wonder what about Robbie Rotten you find fuckable. R.I.P. to the actor, by the way, great man. He did unfortunately pass a few years back. Without the prosthetics on, and as a normal man, sure, go for it. Have at it. But Robbie Rotten, I'm not sure. Now, let's take a dive, shall we? Into the animated. We can talk about my best friend and yours, Prince Sidon from Breath of the Wild.
Tears of the Kingdom is ideally coming out next year. We're all very excited to see the next step in the Breath of the Wild cinematic universe. And I think probably no NPC is more sought after than the prince of the fish people than Sidon, who is just generally like kind of an archetypical himbo who just wants the best for you. And I like him quite a lot.
I will say, like, looking at our list, there's not a lot of himbos because I think we've entered the era of wet and pathetic.
Correct. Now, Sidon is wet, don't get me wrong.
Sidon's very wet. He is a fish man, famously. Now, I am going to say I get it. I get it. He's not the person in that game that I'm making side-eye emojis at. That's going to be, what's her face? The Gerudo lady?
Oh yeah. I mean, she's objectively the hottest person in that game.
Objectively the hottest person in that game, possibly ever. So that is who I'm making eyes at. Sidon, though, I would die for him in a heartbeat. He is just a sweet little idiot, and he's always trying his best, and I think that's wonderful. So I think Sidon, hot.
Sexypedia calls him a big, strong, 12-foot fish man, and yeah, I get it.
If I had a big, strong 12-foot fish man, I would not say no.
Absolutely. We're getting close to the end here. I think this is our last one, right? Besides our honorable mention.
Our last official one, and this one's near and dear to our hearts and to a certain listener's heart.
Shout outs to friend of the pod, Marty.
Let's talk about Jim Carrey's Dr. Eggman.
This one I do not get.
Regrettably, I get it.
Okay, please.
Listen.
Enlighten me.
Mr. Carrey, sad that he's an anti-vaxxer, but he is a handsome man.
Oh my god, he is?
Yeah, so...
Bro.
So, here's the thing. In the laws of the universe of Sonic the Hedgehog, where everything's kind of on cartoon rules, the physical comedy, the dedication of Mr. Eggman, and I think how mean he is. Listen, I don't 100% get it, but there are moments where I get it. And it's something wrong with me mentally, I think. It is like a mental illness that I have.
I'm not going to disagree because it is Jim Carrey.
It is Jim Carrey. Listen, I'll capitulate and I'll say not hot, but...
Listen, do whatever you gotta do. Listen, life is so short and life is so hard, and we get opportunities for pleasure and genuine enthusiasm so infrequently in life that you have to do what you gotta do. But I do not understand this phenomenon in any way.
That's okay. In the Mortified canon, he can be not hot, but let it be known, I kind of get it. So that was the 20 characters we decided to talk about based on categories and criteria that nobody should be privy to or could be privy to, because I don't think we had solid criteria. This was very vibes. Honorable mention for Robert Pattinson's Batman. Wet, sad, dedicated to a cause, very awkward, very hot, great back muscles. Now, would you like to introduce our marketing minute?
Leyla, we've talked about a lot of actual people that either are not that are in the Sexypedia, Tumblr Sexy Man canon, or are generally regarded as attractive internet people. But who isn't a Tumblr Sexy Man that really should be?
Okay, I'm gonna throw one at you from left fucking field. The Nutcracker from the ballet The Nutcracker.
Okay, why?
So I cannot track this movie down for the fucking life of me. But when I was a little kid, I had like an animated Nutcracker. And I remember that the Nutcracker, it falls into the himbo category, but again, very dedicated to a cause. And listen, ACAB, but fictional men in uniform, regrettably, are hot. You know, in worlds where colonialism doesn't exist. Regrettably, I get it. So this is a man in uniform who is dedicated to a cause, is very kind, and dances quite well. I think Tumblr is really sleeping on the Christmas King.
I think you're right. I think the Nutcracker is a classic, and I do feel like, it's a man in uniform who, has the potential to be evil. I feel like you're not wrong.
And he doesn't have the potential to be evil. I think he has the potential to be the sweetheart archetype, right? The for the same reason that a lot of a lot of romantic heroes are generally successful. So maybe he's not for this era where we find the sad, evil, and pathetic hot, but he could be for some. And I think that's wonderful, and there's a lot of potential to make him a skinny anime white boy. And so Tumblr should get on that. Do you have a pitch?
I just think that who is the older brother in the Jade City saga? I know his first name is Lon.
You're gonna have to.
It's called Lon. Who is a character in Fonda Lee's Jade City trilogy. He's an older man. He is sad. He's a dad. And he's divorced, and I feel like people would just go crazy for him. And this is just my, monthly pitch for people to read the Jade City trilogy, because it's the best series of novels that's been written in the 21st century.
Well, strong endorsement. Yeah, I think Kowloon is going to be handy for an aging Tumblr populace as we start liking more and more divorcees.
Listen, y'all should really, really do not sleep on Kowloon. He's 100% your type, I promise.
I feel good about the judgments we've made tonight.
I think so too. Now, I don't remember most of them because I'm only now coming out of my, I'm sobering up now. But, I feel pretty good about where we ended up, I think.
Well, you're sure going to hear about it when I post this episode either tomorrow or Tuesday, so...
Yeah, excellent. Cannot wait for that.
Great.
Leyla, when we are not making decisive, definitive, 100% objectively correct judgments about who people on the internet think are attractive, where can we be found online?
You can find me at LEYLSES on Twitter, or Tumblr and Instagram, and Twitter for now. I don't know what's going to happen to Twitter.com, but I'm still there. I'm there until it dies. What about you?
You can find me on Twitter and co-host at AaronSXL, where I tweet about tabletop RPGs, health policy, and writing. Also at monsterfactoryfanfic.tumblr.com, I guess. I do another podcast with my friends that's at The Bible Boys on Twitter, where we talk about Christian media. We'll be talking about the documentary Alabama Snake and about how weird Pentecostal Christians are about picking up snakes, I guess. Our theme song is Obsolete by Keshko from the album Filmmakers Reference Kit Volume 2. You can find more of their music at keshko.bandcamp.com. Leyla.
Aaron.
As we roll out yet another Scorpio special, how shall we close out this episode?
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you too, buddy.
See you next year.
See ya.